If you've ever dealt with trying to send people who don't have access to Airtable a link to update information in your database, this video is for you. I got schooled by a client recently because there's one way that I know to do this, and I thought that was the only way to do it, which is to create a link like this, a profile update link that puts the Airtable record ID into the link, and then that link will then send all the data from Airtable into your form. So they won't be creating a new record, they'll be updating a record. And this was the way that I knew to do it. So in order to get this link to people, there's a couple of options. The easiest one, in my opinion, is to use the automations. So you would have an automation, it would send an email, something like, hey, update your employee profile. And then you could say, here's your update profile link. And then they would click that and they're off to the races. However, sending email from Airtable is an advanced Airtable skill. A lot of my non-technical clients or lower tech clients would struggle with how to do this, especially when you have a bunch of records that you want to update or a bunch of people that you want to send it to. Another way you could potentially do this is to have a field, like an Airtable record ID field, in your CRM. But then you have to put that Airtable record ID into your CRM, and then you probably need a Zap to make sure that it stays updated. So you would have to come over here and let's do a record ID field with a formula, and we'll say this is the record ID. Okay, so this gives us the record ID. We can copy that and we can put that into our record ID field. And then we could build that link in ActiveCampaign or whatever your CRM is, and we could send that en masse. We can have a bulk email that sends, and then they get their special link. So again, that's a lot of effort. It's advanced for a client. One of my clients figured out a way to do this, and I was YouTubing, I was searching. I have not been able to find a video about this, so I am here making this video for you. So what you do is first we want to have the form to actually update your profile. So you're gonna make your form, do your integration, make sure your integration is update record, and then here's what you would normally do. You would normally paste this link into Airtable, and that's how you get this update link right here. So what we wanna do is we wanna use a custom link, and we want to say, we want to use the email address as the identifier, and then we need to create a URL parameter for email that pre-fills. So let's create that. And then we go back here and we say if the email equals the email, then we're going to use that as the thing to go look in Airtable. If you see this email address, then suck all that data into this form. So that is step one. Then we need to publish that. And so now here's our link that we're going to share. It's going to be the form link, and then we're going to say email equals email. Okay. So the next thing we need is a form that we're going to send to our people. And that form just needs to take the email address. You can put whatever else you want in there, but that's all it really needs is the email address. So our email address over here is, where are you? There we go. Our email here is our Iris Captain. So we are gonna say in the ending of this form, what we want it to do is we want it to redirect people to our actual profile update form, and we want it to append that email address. So let's publish this just so we're up to date. And over in the ending, we're going to say redirect this, and the redirect is going to be this share link from our first form. Let's copy that. And we're going to put that here, and then we're going to replace the email with Grammarly, I don't need you right now, with the email that we're collecting. Okay, so let's test out our second profile update link that uses the email. So I made a copy of this, and instead of using the Airtable ID, I'm using the email, and it appends this on here. So if we click on this and open it, what we should get is a form that loads up all the data that's in Airtable. And that's what we get. Okay, so now that we have this set up, what we can now do is share the link to just this form that just takes the email address. So they're just going to see this. So let's publish that, copy this link, and now if we go to this link, and then we put in an email address that matches an email that's inside of our database, then it should pull in all of that data. So there's my test email. Click submit. It will forward us now to the profile update form. It found Iris Captain, and now it's going to fill in all the data that exists. And now let's say I prefer to go by Ivy, and I submit that. And then we go back here, and now that is updated. So if you have been struggling with this, or if you have non-technical clients where sending emails from Airtable every time someone wants to update their profile is a hassle, this is really easy. You can just say, hey, send them this form, or you could link to this from your website, which is what my client did. Say, hey, if you want to update your profile, click here, put in your email address, and it will pull up your profile record, and you can make changes. Hope that was helpful. I was really excited to learn this. If you learned something new, drop a comment below, and let's chat about it.